Everybody listen up. I'm not playing around no more. I've got 5 fragrance must-haves that you need to try before you have.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Exactly.
Hey guys, welcome back to the video. If you're new here, my name is Curtis. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 fragrance must-haves that you must try or sample before you have. It's really important that you always sample first in order to see what is worthy of being must-have. And you know, I've told you guys before, this has been so key for me in building a true fragrance collection that I absolutely love. Years ago, I was just blind buying a bunch of things and just building a collection that wasn't really unique or being true to myself. And so I quickly learned that sampling is the way to go if you want to build a true fragrance collection that you absolutely love. The fragrances that I have in my collection are absolutely must-haves for me. But for you, they might be must-haves, but it's important that you must try, sample them first to see if they're worthy of being must-have for yourself. So I'll be showing you 5 fragrances in my collection that were must-haves for me after I tried them first by sampling. So if you're curious to see the fragrances that I've chosen, then let's go. So first up, from the house of Kajal, we have Lamar. So this one is basically kind of a tropical, rosy vanilla fragrance. It pushes in the direction of like a Baccarat Rouge style fragrance, but it definitely has a twist with that blast of pineapple in the top. It almost gives it like a tropical-like feeling, but in this fragrance too, you definitely get a heavy blast of rose and some vanilla that pushes forward to give this fragrance quite a deep, almost sticky sweetness. So that sticky sweetness isn't like cloying or anything like that. It is quite pleasant if you like this style of fragrance. If you're looking for a fragrance that smells kind of like this, I can give you kind of a comparison. So like for me, I've mentioned in a few videos, I really enjoy layering Nishane's Hachivat with Nishane's 100 Silent Ways. And it kind of puts you in the ballpark of like Kajal, because in Hachivat, you have that blast of pineapple and oak moss, and then with 100 Silent Ways, you have kind of like the white florals, vanilla, and some muskiness there. They're not the same by any means, but it kind of pushes into that same ballpark or puts you on that path. But yeah, this is a very pleasant fragrance. And what I will say is performance is beastly with this one. Be careful. Like one spray and you're good. At least how it is for me. This projects extremely heavily. It's a room filler. Sillage is gorgeous with this one. So yeah, just be very, very careful with this. Now this is the only fragrance that I own from Kajal, but yeah, this is a great one, and it's definitely piqued my interest in terms of trying more fragrances from that house. But yeah, this is a great one. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Lamar by Kajal. Next up, from the house of Essential Parfums, we have Bois Imperial. So this fragrance has definitely got a lot of hype in the fragrance community, but rightfully so. This is basically fresh, metallic woodiness that is just extremely pleasant, and it has a sexiness about it that I really, really enjoy. This one was perfumed by Quentin Biche, one of my favorite perfumers. He's done a phenomenal job here. This fragrance, the performance on this is also crazy. But this fragrance definitely gets compared to Ganymede, which was also perfumed by Quentin Biche. So it kind of goes in that direction. It's not the same by any means, but it definitely is on that same path and kind of has a similar DNA. But I would say that this is probably a more wearable version versus the Ganymede, which I guess you could consider to be more niche. But yeah, they're both extremely good. But yeah, this one is definitely extremely well performing and compliment getting. A lot of people seem to really, really enjoy this scent. And this leaves a pretty intoxicating sillage that I absolutely love. But it's a very easy wear. This is extremely versatile. You can wear in any season and basically for any occasion. This is such a great scent and one that I'm so thankful to have in my collection, and one that I will always recommend on my channel because it's just that good. Definite must-have in my opinion. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Bois Imperial by Essential Parfums. Next up, from the house of Nichane, we have Ombra Calabria. Man, so this one is definitely one of my favorites from the house, and you can see I put quite the dent in this fragrance. I love wearing it. It's extremely versatile. It can work in any season, and it's so unique. I don't have another fragrance like this one in my collection. Basically, on initial spray, you get some citruses and some heavy green notes. It's almost kind of like bitterly green, and that's coming from the galbanum here. But as you start to dry down, that green tone and those green notes start to subside along with the citruses, and then you get some beautiful ambery vanilla notes that really start to push forward and take over this fragrance. But it's not like such a deep and rich ambery vanilla. It's an amber and vanilla that you can definitely wear in the high heat. So that's what makes this fragrance so unique and extremely versatile. And I love this one. This one is so good. And this is another one that's just a heavy compliment getter. I love it. It's a must-have for me, and one that I'll always recommend. And Ombra Calabria is one of those fragrances that I feel like, doesn't get a whole lot of hype. But it's definitely well-deserved. It's that good. It's a special one for me. I love it. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Ombra Calabria by Nichane. Next up, from the house of Amouage, we have Lyric Man. This is such a beautiful scent. This is a heavy kind of red rose. And so basically you get some red rose combined with some citruses, and the citrus is the lime here. So it's a lime and rose combination. This fragrance just comes off very fresh, soapy, and clean. It's kind of like basically just rose water is what it smells like, but it's extremely pleasant. You definitely have like that typical Amouage incense in here, but it's really pushed into the background. It's not at the forefront of this fragrance at all, but it's definitely there, as well as you get a little bit of vanilla to add some sweetness. But basically in general, this fragrance is just very fresh, and this can work basically in any season. But for me, this is definitely a rose that I like to wear in the warmer temperatures, spring and summer. It works as treat, especially summer evenings. I love this one. It's a sexy red rose. And like, for you guys out there, don't be afraid of rose fragrances. I'm telling you, you're missing out.
I used to be that guy.
I used to stay away from rose fragrances because I thought that they, rose is a feminine note, but guys can totally pull rose off. It's just a very sexy note in my opinion. This is one of my favorite rose fragrances. It's such an easy wear, and one that, I'll never stop recommending because I just really enjoy it. A definite must-have for me. And you guys know Amouage, they produce just stunning fragrances that are very unique. And yeah, this is one of those fragrances. What I will say about this one in terms of performance, longevity is phenomenal. I mean, if you get this on your clothes, it's not coming off for a while. But I would say in terms of projection, it's just moderate. It's not like a beastly projection. And sillage as well is just kind of moderate. So it's not, if you're looking for an Amouage that has like just beastly projection, for me, this isn't one of those fragrances. But, I'm not always looking for a fragrance like that. But I don't know, but maybe on you or someone else, they might get beastly projection out of this fragrance. That's what makes fragrances unique to everybody, because they kind of work with our skin chemistry, and it's just different for all of us. But I guess that's part of the fun of it. But yeah, this is a great fragrance and a stunner in my opinion. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Lyric Man by Amouage. And finally, from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, we have Gentle Fluidity Silver. Man, I love this one. This one is very fresh, charismatic, and just has a sex appeal about it that I absolutely love. It's very easy to wear, and it's basically gin and tonic vibes in a bottle. You get a heavy blast of juniper berry, which kind of gives it like a fresh, cooling gin and tonic type vibe, but you also have some kind of vanilla and ambery notes in here that are subtly tucked in the background, but start to push forward a little bit once this fragrance dries down. But all the while, this fragrance remains very, very fresh, uplifting, and almost intoxicating. It's a very easy wear. I absolutely love this one, and performance is crazy. You need to go easy on the trigger. This is a room filler. If you're gonna be wearing this to work where you're kind of in close quarters with people, be careful because this will fill the room. You know, maybe two or three sprays. Maybe if you're in the workplace or in close quarters, 1 or 2 sprays. You know, but if you're just gonna be wearing this out and about casually during the day, you know, 3 or 4 sprays will work a treat. But yeah, this one is very long lasting, performance is great, and this is one of my favorites from the brand. I absolutely love it, and it's a definite must have in my own collection. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Gentle Fluidy Silver by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. All right guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, and let me know down in the comments section, what fragrances do you have in your collection that you consider must-haves? I'd love to hear about them. Well, I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.